All right, I'm back again. I just got done. It's pending right now, uploading a video which I did for my military folks for a question they had for me on my opinion about the Gulf War. Not the Gulf War, but the Iran War. But anyway, this is a different topic. This time it's. Let me fix my camera. Fix my camera before I lose my mind here, because in 10 seconds everything that's in here starts going away. And again, this is unedited, folks. I just got done doing some research for a developer that I work with in Seattle and down south in Pierce County. So while I was doing that, well, not while I was doing that, but after I got done doing that, my message on my Facebook came up again and was asked. I had another service member asking me follow-up question on a question he had months ago before he went on board one of the guided missile destroyers in the Everett. But so now the question I got while he's out there in the middle of the Pacific is, "Hey Marcus, I need to find out what your opinion is on looking for a home in Monroe." Okay, so let me dig a little bit deeper into that question. So let's generalize this question now. U.S. Navy service member gets stationed in Naval Station Everett, and I think there are 7 guided missile destroyers stationed in Everett. I already forgotten the names are because I haven't been there like in weeks. Oh my God, I need to do my job. Oops, need to fix my hair again. Okay, look like a devil there. But anyway, okay, so if you are getting stationed to Naval Station Everett, or let's for that matter, anywhere around the world, well, preferably in the 48 continental states of the United States. What you normally do is you go dive into the naval station and go work your way out, right? Now, if you find Naval Station Everett in a Google map, you will notice it's on the very northwest section of the town. Okay? So you do a map radius, let's say about 25 miles. And you will note that 25 miles, a lot of towns envelope that radius. From north to Stanwood to Camino Island, all the way to Monroe. This kid was looking at Monroe. Okay, let me dig deeper into this. If you are moving to Naval Station Everett, and you're going to try to find out what are the best places to live, well, it all boils down to affordability for us service members, right? But not everything is just about affordability. It's all about numbers. Let me deal with numbers here. Now, I may be wrong because what I did here, I'm cheating a little bit. I wrote down the towns with the amount of homes that are currently in the market. A little piece of paper right in front of my camera phone. Yep, I'm just using a regular Samsung. I'm not a regular podcaster here, so nothing fancy, okay? But it works. So those numbers are here. Now, Google map it again, Naval Station Everett. Very few folks wants to venture south of Everett towards Seattle. Now, Seattle is 29 miles. Let's just say 30 miles from Naval Station Everett. Anything between Seattle, from Northgate, Shoreline, Edmonds, Mount Lake, Terrace, Briar, Linwood, Everett are expensive. So a traditional home in Seattle would no less than cost you about $1.2 million for a 1,600 square foot home. Yes. So, but it progressively gets cheaper as you move up. That's the good news. Okay? Another form of good news is that if you venture further north of Everett or further east towards Monroe, I think Monroe should be the furthest east you should check out. I'll explain to you why. The price substantially becomes a little bit cheaper. Okay? For a variety of reasons, but also for some exceptions. Okay, let's tackle this. If you're looking into Everett and you're looking at that 25-mile radius, okay, if you go west towards Mukilteo, now Mukilteo years ago was voted in the top 10 of the best places to live in the whole United States. There are 3 locales in Washington that was voted into that category. Newcastle, which is just south of Renton, Bellevue. You should know where that is, right? Sammamish, Washington, which is east of Bellevue, and Mukilteo, which is north of Seattle. Those were voted till about 2009, I do believe, as the top 3 places to live in the United States. Mukilteo, if you could find a cheap, affordable home below $1 million, buy it. Great school district, great place to be. You're right by the water. The ferry's right there. Boeing's right there. Everything is cool and great. Okay? I say go for it. Now, as of last count, there's very few homes in the market in Mukilteo. Less than 100. Right? And they are not cheap. Go check it out regardless. Everett, Washington, there is a total of 262 homes in the market. Now, these are anywhere from the affordable $400,000 home all the way up to $2 to $3 million home. By the way, in these expensive homes, and I'm going to put, when I publish this video, a picture on the cover photo of this video, which are cherry blossoms overlooking the water, which is overlooking the base. These are $1 to $2 million homes. Yes. So when people say, well, I don't want to live in Everett because of homelessness, dude, there are homelessness and drugs all over the country. From the backwoods of the Sierra Nevadas to the cornfields of Nebraska to the high and richy Miami, all the way. It don't matter. It's not just in LA. You just gotta find the right locale within that neighborhood. Okay? So Everett, I'd go northwest between Grand Avenue and Broadway. You go central east towards Silver Lake and Mill Creek. Okay? Now, you go, as I mentioned earlier, you can go north, you can go east. Let's tackle east. Lake Stevens, Washington. Lake Stevens, there are only 123 homes right now in the market in Lake Stevens. And more than 80% of them are quite expensive. I'm sorry about that. Oh my gosh. I need to have dinner by this time. But anyway, let's finish this. And the reason why our property taxes are high, and also because of the lake, which is a central location. The center part of Lake Stevens is basically the lake. So Lake Stevens might be something that you might want to venture off. The disadvantage of Lake Stevens is the transportation, the inherent difficulty of traveling to and from Lake Stevens. Marysville is a little bit further, and it's a little bit cheaper. And also the travel time to Naval Station Everett is quicker. You get either on I-5 or you can take Broadway all the way down to the base, to Marine View Drive. Easier. Now, people will say, well, you know, the school district is not as good as Lake Stevens. That's why they want to all venture up to Lake Stevens. And if I can get a picture of my front yard being in front of the lake, I'll buy it. That will be up to you. I live in this home for 20 years and 2 months now, since I bought it in 2006 when I was stationed at Naval Air Station, Whidbey Island, 53 miles away. Yes, I bought this home because I knew when I was stationed there between 1998 and 2000, Naval Station Everett, I already know the area. Okay, so I'm like an expert on my town here in Marysville, which I will discuss to you guys in another video. So you go north instead of Lake Stevens heading east. Now, Lake Stevens and Marysville are kind of situated like this. You know, if Marysville is the heart, Lake Stevens is the kidney. You know, you want to... Anyway. Now, Marysville, there are 191 homes in the market right now. Some of them are affordable because Marysville is an older town compared to Lake Stevens. It's right on I-5. There are 4 exits that you could take to get into Lake Marysville, aside from only one in Lake Stevens. Okay? So, there you go. Shopping has been great, phenomenal. The boat Navy housings are here in Marysville. The main Navy Exchange and Commissary is here in Marysville. Yeah, figure that out. 10 miles away from Naval Station Everett is where they built the Navy Commissary and Exchange. Which also, we'll talk about that when I get to Arlington here. Arlington, Washington has 65 homes in the market. It's not a lot. Here's the reason why. Arlington, Washington, if you think of your body as this is Marysville, the heart, Lake Stevens is down here, Arlington is right here in the neck, or more on this side of the neck, all right? Now, homes there are bigger because it's mostly a farming community. And Arlington is huge. Unincorporated stretches all the way to half towards Darrington. So if you could find a place in Arlington, Arlington is a great place to live in. Still, probably 1/3 of those 65 homes are affordable because the majority of them sits on 5 to 10 acre lots or more. Again, it's a farming community, and that's why there's not a lot of homes in the market right there. But again, it's quite a drive to get in and out of Arlington now, especially the middle of the town. Again, Google Map it, and I'll tell you why. Now, Jim Creek Naval Reservation is in Tafton. Is it Trafton or Tafton? Which is still a part of Arlington. It's on Jim Creek Road, and right at the very end of it is the Naval Reservation, which is about 55,000 acres. So if you're into camping, fishing, 4x4s, hunting, I don't know if you could hunt the naval. I don't know, but I know you could camp. You could rent lodges there. You could fish. You could bring in your RV. Okay, it is for us military service members. Go to MWR Jim Creek Naval Reservation on your Google, and you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. Arlington would be perfect for you. Okay, but if we ever get nuked by the Russians, you got front row seats because Jim Creek Naval Reservation is actually the main point of communication with our ballistic missile submarines. Ugh. Well, at least you got front row seats. I always said that I'm going to buy land there so that when I see the Russian nukes coming in, I just take a selfie. I'd be the first one to tell you guys because I got front row seats. Okay, let's move on forward. You go further north, and I think this is the last town that I would want you to consider because anything further than this is going to be about an hour drive to and from the naval station, all right? Would be Stanwood. Stanwood, right off an exit. It'll probably take you 30 plus minutes just to get on the exit, another 10 to 15 minutes to get into the town. It's on the west side of I-5. Right now, there are only 73 homes in the market. Now, I have sold homes there. If you want a really quiet type of living, single-family homes that have 5+ acres, quiet, great school system, Stanwood is for you. I've assisted a few military service members there. The most notable of them was the Command Master Chief. Was he the CMC? I think he was the CMC of Naval Recruiting District Seattle. Yeah, he lived over in Stanwood, so he'd do the drive every day from Stanwood to Seattle. Then he got moved to the Nimitz, it's the CMC. Okay, so if I could do that to a Command Master Chief, I could do that to anybody of you guys that are moving here. And he lived in Stanwood. Yeah, figure that out, right? Now, anywhere further than that, if you Google Map Stanwood again, right beside it is Camino Island. Now, islands here are connected. The biggest ones would be Island, Fidalgo Island, Camino Island. They belong to Island County, which is separate from Snohomish County, which is where Everett is, and all the other towns that I mentioned to you are in Snohomish County. Camino Island is with Island County. Duh, don't ask me why, but it's connected via a bridge from Stanwood. If you're looking at the Camino Island, as a matter of fact, you can see Camino Island. It's a tadpole-looking island, just like Whidbey, right? Stretches from north to south. You can literally see the southern portion of the island. If you want to, now, Camino Island, there are 88 properties in the market. I can assure you that 2/3 of that are on the northern side. The southern side is probably about 20 to 30. Why is that? And they're going to be cheaper is because it takes a while to get to the southern side. You might be able to see the naval station from the southern side of the island, but you got to go around up north, around I-5, and come on down. If it takes you about 45 minutes to get to Stanwood, it's going to take you more than an hour to get to Camino Island, especially if you're going to look at something down south. But if you want value, if you want that island lifestyle, instead of looking into Whidbey, if you're stationed in Naval Station Whidbey Island, you ain't got a choice. You got to live in Whidbey. But Camino Island is an option, right? Now, if you go further east towards Highway 2, past Lake Stevens, the next town down the road is Monroe. I have assisted service members looking into Monroe. I've had only 1, 2, 3 people that had lived in Monroe. And nobody had lived further east because I have told them, live further east like Sultan, that's quite a drive, especially in a one-lane highway. Okay, now granted, Highway 2 takes you all the way around the loop, the mountain loop, Cascade Loop toward Leavenworth, which is another video in itself, right? So if you want traffic on a single lane highway, Sultan is, I wouldn't suggest it, but Google Map it anyway. Monroe is quite busy now. It has a nice commercial hub. It connects you also to 405 highway. If you want to head to Seattle, Bellevue, Redmond, Kirkland, that section of the eastern side of Lake Washington that connects you to Seattle, I say go for it. Monroe is still booming. Currently, there are 70 homes in the market. Now, granted, about 50 of them plus are new construction, but who says you can't buy new construction, right? You guys got any questions? The new constructions in the neighborhood, let me know. I've sold tons of new constructions here. You just got to know who to communicate with, especially the listing agents, before they put it in the market. Because if they've been in the market, guess what? They're going to rack up some outbidders that you possibly cannot outbid. Okay? So anyway, so those are Everett, Marysville, Lake Stevens, Arlington, Stanwood, Monroe, Camino Island. Oh, one last town. You didn't have to go as far as Monroe. There's a little town called Granite Falls, north of Lake Stevens, east of Marysville. Right now, there are only 19 homes in the market. It's a small town, but if we could find something out there to your liking, they are still affordable. I can bet you that half of them are within a sailor's budget. Okay? Little bit of information. East of Granite Falls was where the grandfather of this president used to live. That's how they started. Yep, I know my history. And if you don't know that they started here in the Seattle area, you need to read a book. Open a book and read it. Okay? So anyway, those are, again, you probably didn't learn anything from this video, but this video is just there to assure you that there are homes in the market out there waiting for you guys. You just got to figure out where you want to go. All right? Out of those, 191, 450, 570, 630, 700, 770, 850, it's about close to 900 homes in the market for any U.S. Navy service members that are willing to look, right? So, to our men and women out there, whether you're deployed or not, there's a reason why I get to do what I do now, because you do what you still do now. So you guys take care of yourselves, to our sons and daughters, brothers, sisters, husbands and wives. It has been a pleasure, a privilege, and an honor to have served. You guys take care.